Qatar Foundation representatives, esteemed panelists, experts and advocates, good day. Thank you for platforming such a crucial conversation. It's a pleasure to be here today. This year, as Qatar Foundation marks the 30th International, may the countless lives empowered offer a testament to the necessity of caring for our borders and the global impact of authentic philanthropy. 2024 is also a celebration of 3 decades of rebuilding our newly liberated Rwanda. We eagerly anticipate to draw from the experiences and good practices of our friends to add value to fortify our steps in eradicating, at last, intergenerational poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, today's exchange calls for reflection, but also experience on the transformative journey that can successfully take a people from deprivation to prosperity. While I look forward to sharing Rwanda's story, I believe that a few questions must be raised first. I worry that without questioning certain notions, the scales may always be skewed against those deemed poor. Indeed, in order to break the intergenerational wheel of poverty, we must examine the root cause of extreme poverty, assess and quantify the full extent of its damage to humanity, and reflect on the dynamics through which deprivation prevails. Honorable guests, we are all familiar with the world history. How far has the African continent truly been set back by extensive and systematic resource extraction, compounding debt, and foreign economic policies of austerity that impede national development? How can it truly eradicate extreme poverty when it remains controversial to raise questions on the lack of accountability and urgency of the global institutions mandated to secure that change? The words poor or poverty are regrettably often used to define the identity of those who, for me, would instead better be described by their resilience and drive to prevail over exploitative policies of the old world. Must we, I wonder, necessarily quantify and qualify everyone's productivity in terms that benefit some but not others? If poor or rich are to be pertinent qualifiers of human development for entire nations, shouldn't there be a more accurate and culturally sensitive barometer of the quality of one's well-being than the one that we currently uphold? It's my belief that the GDP per capita and other measures of Human Development Index can be biased or limited, or do not provide a full and complete picture of a people's standards of living, particularly in instances of significant inequality. One may deliver service with every cent. Another may choose to misuse every full dollar. So much may occur in between acquiring funds and actually putting those funds to good use, and this trap is bridged by good leadership, strong institutions, and engaged people. However, these markers of performance, like minimal, often go undervalued. In the case of Rwanda, security, national unity, and the pride to have emerged dignified and free from the ashes of a once failed and divided state, for us, this is hard-earned capital. Honorable guests, victimhood could never be a badge of honor. States can no longer be disenfranchised when measures are taken, quote to quote, to empower their people. Indeed, the time has come to revisit development cooperation dialogue for a sincere and mutually beneficial relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, a healthy and prosperous society produces healthy and prosperous families, and in turn, healthy and prosperous families sustain a thriving society. Our country embraces a people-centered model of governance with a social protection policy enshrined at the core of our development efforts. Yes, MDG 1, eradicating extreme poverty, remains a challenge. However, the framework of Sustainable Development Goals provides a promising path to eradicating poverty by 2030. And yes, we are also aware that considerable obstacles may threaten our progress, namely population distribution, climate change, conflict, and moral apathy. Nevertheless, by implementing solutions that account for these threats, solutions mindful of our own historical, cultural context, we have been able to trace our own way forward, and this is reflected in our soon-to-be implemented national strategy for transformation. Esteemed guests, allow me to briefly illustrate the results of Rwanda's development endeavors thus far in a few examples. Rwanda has implemented universal health care, mutuelle de santé, covering over 98% of Rwandans, universal primary education and shelter for all. Homegrown solutions such as our integrated model village provide decent homes to over 8,000 vulnerable families, including those impacted by climate change, as well as a package of end-to-end services, and this is just the beginning. Since 2000, the Rwandan economy has multiplied more than 7 times, and Rwandans' life expectancy has increased from 47 years on average to 70 years now, and still rising. 99% of our girls are enrolled in primary school, and child marriage remains illegal in our country, and school feeding has been implemented nationally. Indeed, we will avail every effort to maximizing school retention. We take this opportunity to celebrate the solid partnership between the government of Rwanda and Qatar Foundation. The Zero Out of School project, spearheaded by Education Above All, offers an encouraging prospect that no child shall miss school by re-enrolling all dropouts. Thank you for committing to this noble cause. Access to electricity has increased from 6% to 75% in the past 15 years. And 50% of this electricity is now produced by renewable resources. And at the end of 2024, the cumulative connectivity rate in Rwanda will be 80%. Through the use of drones, Rwanda delivers medical supplies quickly and safely to our most remote areas, saving numerous citizens. The digitalization of services, indeed, for the public has increased its efficiency substantially. Our digital government services platform, called Irembo, hosts over 40 different services deriving from 6 different government agencies, removing the hurdles of bureaucracy in public service access. We look forward to the development of our 6 secondary cities, which will create a functional network of development pools that center green growth and offset the social cost of rapid urbanization. Ladies and gentlemen, it's imperative that we assure a generational mindset shift on our continent and beyond, the kind that makes us rethink the term poor country, the realities behind it, and the breadth of effort it will make to achieve prosperity. For this, we are fortunate enough to access rooms like these, where our efforts can be held by the wisdom, fed by the wisdom of the experts beside me. My parting words are, dear guests, that behind facts and figures, behind statistics, analysis, and reports on poverty-related deaths in Africa are real families, with aspirations and desires similar to everyone else's. The health and success of our children, a life of dignity and security. We must note that the future of those who have abundance are closely connected with the lives of those in need. economic challenges arising from poverty and insecurity, even when distant, will eventually permeate all our homes. The global inflation we've experienced in recent years, influenced in part by geopolitical conflict, has deepened our understanding of this connection. In many ways, our fates are interconnected. So we must all ask ourselves, will this generation at last be the one to end extreme poverty? We are equipped with the resources, incentives, and I dare hope, humanity to do so. Will we make the only acceptable and rational choice? Let us note that history, and specifically our children, will judge whether we choose to be active opposers or passive enablers of the biggest thief of human life of the 21st century. Be assured, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, that Rwanda will always be open to partnerships and networking, to knowledge